friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Husband decorates his neighbor's homes for wife who loves Christmas. Written by Hallie Wells, read by Julie Provost. While many struggle to find time to decorate their homes and yards during the holiday season, Indianola, Iowa, East Franklin Avenue is wonderfully festive because of one of the street's residents has decorated all of his neighbors' homes for them. He does it for the love of his wife, Joan, and he's not stopping anytime soon. John and Joan Reihart live in the heart of America. Indianola, Iowa is home to approximately 16,000 people, according to the 2020 census, and is just 14 miles south of Des Moines. It is home to the annual National Balloon Classic, a 9-day hot air balloon festival that's held every year. And in December, it's home to some fantastic Christmas lights, compliments of John and his big heart. The couple have been married for 53 years, share a love of Christmas. The 74-year-old Marine veteran now dedicates months to making memories at Christmas time. Joan is a breast cancer survivor, and she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 4 years ago. John aims to help Joan enjoy as many Christmas memories as possible. He began assembling Christmas decor in his garage back in September and decorated more than 20 homes this year. Mr. Reihart shared, "If it wasn't for my wife, I don't know what I would have done. But she wanted Christmas, so I gave it to her. I'd do anything to make her happy." Neighbors feel blessed to have John on their street, bringing so much joy during the holiday season. John donates his time and money to create magic in his little part of the world. But now many volunteers help set up lights and decorations. Of course, lots of light lovers drive by throughout the season to check out the flashing roof lines, Christmas characters, dazzling trees, and more. Joan inspires John's labor of love, and he's thrilled that it makes others happy. He said, "If one person drives by and feels happiness in their heart, you know I've done my job." John doesn't have any plans to give up his house decorating tradition. He shared with CBS News, "As long as she's okay, and even if she would pass, I'm going to do it in her memory as long as I can." The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Couple befriend older neighbor after hearing music coming from his apartment. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. A couple befriends an older neighbor after hearing music coming from his apartment. When Lydia and Andy Pender moved into their new apartment in Honolulu, they were not greeted by silence, but by lively strains of piano music coming through the walls. Curiosity got the best of them. They wanted to know if a musician lived next door, or if it was the place for a band to practice. Either way, the music was loud. Much to their surprise, they were greeted by a spry, elderly gentleman who lived alone. They met Derek Pert, a 98-year-old former pilot of the British Navy. He apologized for the loud music and then explained his hearing aids weren't working correctly. This wasn't what Lydia and Andy expected, and they were absolutely delighted to meet Derek. The couple helped adjust his hearing aids, and that's when a friendship was born. Derek invited them over for tea, and their relationship soon blossomed. Lydia cooked dinner for the guys. He said he would play for us sometime, and that's where the friendship started. "We thought he was the coolest guy and wanted to hang out with him more," Andy said. Eventually, Derek offered to play the piano for them. They were blown away. All the songs he played were from memory. They learned he had taken piano lessons as a kid, and later in life, Derek's wife encouraged him to play again by surprising him with a piano before she passed away. For Derek, it was a way to pass the time, but the music notes that floated through the walls beckoned something more, a friendship with Lydia and Andy. They love coming over for dinner and tea, and look forward to listening to Derek play. In a world that often isolates the elderly, the Penders' friendship with Derek reminds us of the gift that older generations have. God places these beautiful individuals in our lives to teach us, share us their stories, and even entertain us with talents like piano playing. We want to live next to Derek and enjoy his company as long as we can. He's extremely passionate about music and says it has kept him alive, Lydia said. Their friendship illustrates how people thrive when neighbors care for one another. As the Penders say, their time with Derek has enriched their lives in ways that they couldn't have imagined. And for Derek, it's proof that age is just a number when friendship and music are involved. Isaiah 46:4. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am He who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
Hey friends, Nicole Eunice here from the How to Study the Bible podcast. I want to invite you to experience a fresh look at the story of Joseph and what it means for you today. Life can totally throw us for a loop, whether it's your family or your marriage, work, church, or something else entirely. Maybe you have found yourself in a season that you never would have expected and that you certainly wouldn't have signed up for. In this 6-week Bible study together, we're going to talk about the biblical story of Joseph, a man who lived an unexpected life and trusted God through it all. We'll talk about the blessings he experienced, the promises God keeps, the way that tests of our character can actually refine our faith. We'll talk about patience. We'll talk about loss, absolutely talk about redemption. So come join us for the 6-week series over on the How to Study the Bible podcast. Can't wait to dive in with you.